Ladies and gentlemen, the sun is in my mouth right now because I waited a little too long to record this, so hence the sunnies. And obviously we got this dead plant in the background. We did good. We did good. It was doing pretty good. We repotted it and everything, but man, this thing just started having some bugs in the house, and then after that point, it's got to go. It's got to go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ajay Patel Show. My name is Ajay Patel, and this is the last episode we will be recording at this box in the sky that I have been able to call home over the past 3 years. Yes, that is correct. I kind of mentioned it in a previous episode that we are packing it up. So we will reflect a little bit on our time in LA. We will dive into what we came here for. More importantly, what I came here for, what I was able to get out of it, and more importantly, what I was not able to get out of it. We got a shorter episode, so I do apologize for the delay. We just had some stuff going on this weekend. And by that I mean I spent probably like 3 hours scrolling through TikTok on Sunday. I just didn't feel like doing anything. I had plenty of time. The laziness. My biggest downfall. The laziness got me. This week we'll keep it short. We're going to talk a little bit about the presidential fitness test, a little talk about AI, and then we'll close it with my reflections on my time in LA. Starting with this presidential fitness test. So I saw the TikTok, the story come across that the presidential fitness test is coming back. It's going to be reinstated. Now, say what you will about this administration, right? I don't fully agree with a lot of the decisions. I don't really understand half of them. Yes, I'm 100% certain there's probably some insider shit going on. People making each other rich, billionaires helping other billionaires. We're not really solving a bunch of wars, right? We're just kind of threatening people left and right, which is okay, I don't really know if war is getting better. Say what you will about the administration, but one thing that is exciting is shit is happening. Shit is happening on a weekly basis. There's a new AI bill that's come out. There's a new presidential fitness bill that's come out. Obviously, all the shit that's happening with the tariffs and stuff's happening. And I don't know whether it was just like this level of transparency that comes with the time that Trump is president, right? Because people are hypercritical, right? People want to expose why he's such a bad president, and at the same time, the other camp wants to show, oh my gosh, this guy is the GOAT. I'm neither, right? But I do enjoy seeing things happening. Now, obviously, I'm still waiting for, some type of gun control, right? Some type of gun control. My biggest issue isn't the stuff happening overseas. I think that's a horrible thing. And honestly, it made me think about America in like 2001, right? Yes, I'm talking about 9/11. And the comparison is quite the same. These two countries had some beef. One country decided to do this whole bombing, right? For us, it was 9/11. For them, it was October 7th. And then next thing you know, you just go on this rampage of just absolutely fucking murdering everyone. And I've mentioned the Cat Williams joke in which we were kind of just in Iraq killing people. And it's the same thing happening in Gaza, right? They're not killing Hamas. They're just killing the people. So many people suffer from just, this country conflict. And so it makes me think like, okay, you know what? Honestly, from this presidential term, I don't think anything's going to happen in that regard. But there are things that I hope that happens that kind of just bolsters the next generation to come up. Whether it's something financial, maybe they'll be able to afford a house. Maybe they'll get bullied a little bit less. And this presidential fitness test, man, salute. Because I'm really glad they brought this back. I was a little tired of going to the Irving Mall or going to my local Applebee's and seeing a bunch of boom batty teenagers there thinking they run the place. You know what I'm saying? Like these fatty boom baddies just got a little too carried away in this last generation. Now, I looked up the history of the presidential fitness test. For those that don't know what it is, let me try to jog your memory before I go into the textbook definition of what it is. I don't know if you got to be somewhat my age, right? Somewhat my age. You're in elementary school, and in PE class, they say, all right, we got to do all these things. We got to do a shuttle run in which you're kind of just going back from cone to cone. You normally see that at an NFL combine. You do a little shuttle run. You do some crunches. You know, you kind of partner up. Someone holds your feet down. You see how many you can do. Now, as a dude, you took this as a challenge. As a dude, you took this as like, oh shit, you know what? I gotta be the best. Not only because other dudes are probably judging me, but you know what I'm saying. I got a crush on old girl in first grade. I want to buy her some ice cream. I want her to know that I can do 100 push-ups. I couldn't do 100 push-ups back then. I think it was like 25 or 50. I don't know what it was. So you do all these things: a shuttle run, crunches, box reach, push-ups. I think there was probably some lap. Maybe you jump. So you do all these things, and I think it was just like a gauge to determine the fitness level of certain school districts, cities, states. And I guess that goes up to the presidential level, and then he probably just does some, sign off. Someone in his office probably just does some sign off. Like I think I used to get some the president's signature on my perfect attendance certificates when I was in high school. But you know what I'm saying? Like he's not actually signing it, I think. If so, I got a couple of George Bushes in my field. You know what I'm saying? So growing up, I had this presidential fitness test. Now, I looked up the history of it, right? The actual history of like who started this? Where did it come from? Now, the origin, and when I read this, it was just like, okay, obviously this has to be where it's from. In 1953, a study comparing American and European kids showed that nearly 60% of U.S. children failed a simple physical fitness test, compared to only 8% of European children. This sparked panic. If U.S. kids were physically unfit, they might be unprepared for military service, which was top of mind during the Cold War. We're talking 1950s. The underlying message was a nation that is physically unfit is a nation at risk. I agree. If you walk up to the Roman Empire and you see a bunch of chiseled motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? You see all these Greek mythology gods. You see Zeus and all them boys. You ain't gonna challenge that country, right? But you pull up to, Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. You probably think, you know what? I could probably take like 8 of these boys. If they don't try to squish me or use their weight, you know what I'm saying? You could take a couple boom baddies yourself if you think you're fit. So this is during like the Eisenhower presidency. He created the Presidential Council of Youth Fitness, and the whole goal was to get children moving. Then you move into the Kennedy era. So firstly, I did not know that this test that was given to elementary school kids were to basically get them programmed to be ready to maybe be war ready. Just in case, right? Just in case the time comes in 10 years time, right? You're some 7th, 8th, 9-year-old in elementary school. In 10 years time, you might be ready for the draft. We might pull your number. We might pull your name. It might be time to go bomb Iraq. So you have to be ready. So I can understand the concept of that. I thought it was just something more fun, I think we had hoops for heart, right? Where everyone was just doing a hula hoop. We had jump rope for heart. Everything was about the heart. Ooh, let's get this blood pressure down. I went to school with a bunch of black people and Hispanic people. So you got black people, Hispanic people, and an Indian boy in there. You know that blood pressure's through the roof. You know there's ghee, oil, tomatillo sauce all up in our veins. So I thought it was a good thing. I loved it. I was actually I had no idea that it actually got removed. So before I go to the remove part, let's just touch on the JFK piece. JFK was a fitness enthusiast. He seemed like an attractive fella. He rebranded the effort and elevated it to a patriotic duty. The soft American warning that physical weakness undermined national strength. Vigorous daily activity. Yeah, so then it became this physical fitness award. And I guess they just gave it out to whatever school or district won that shit, or maybe state. Now, what was on the test was sit-ups for a minute, push-ups or pull-ups. I do not think we had pull-ups. The shuttle run, sit-in reach, 1 mile run, curl-ups, and V-sit reach. Students were scored against national percentiles, and if they hit the 85th percentile or higher, they got a certificate signed by the president. Okay, yeah, so I was right. Now, I just want to put out one thing that I was quite embarrassed about. The sit and reach was like this brown box that gets put down, and then you put your feet into it, right? You're sitting on the ground, your legs are flat on the ground, and then you reach. Most of the people that listen to this podcast, I think I know y'all, they can touch their toes, right? Like if like me sitting right here, right? If you're watching this visually, you have your legs out, you can lean over and touch your toes. I can barely get to the top of my high socks. Still to this day, flexibility has been my worst attribute. I can get into the back of a 6-seater SUV. Don't get me wrong. I'll be comfortable. I can move around. I can dance. I'm a ballerina at the end of the day. But I can't touch my toes. I'm not flexible. Like, look, it's actually embarrassing, bro. Like how bad it is. As soon as I get here, right, everything just starts locking up. Everything from literally the top of my calf all the way to my ass. Everything just starts locking up. And it's never gotten better. I've noticed that, when I started dancing and I would actually be a little bit more warmed up, I had a higher range of mobility, obviously. But it was so embarrassing where people would be like, all right, come on, reach. And I would lean forward and my hands would just be out. And they'd just be like, all right, come on, reach. And it's just embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? I like Emily Brandt probably didn't like that much. All right. Now we get to the part where it gets phased out. And of course, it revolves around everything else around America where we got a little too soft, right? We overdid it. We overdid it in 2001 where we just started fucking being a bully. We had patriotism. The nation was one, right? I will say that. The nation was one, but boy, did we hurt our credibility. The United States in the early 2000s was exactly what Israel is right now. And we've been slowly, we never got our reputation back. Because we after the Bush years, we had Obama. Oh, cool. Wow, here we go. And then it goes into the Trump years. Everyone thinks we're a joke. And it's like, oh, shit. And now their asses are getting hit with tariffs. So you know what I'm saying? We're slowly trying to get back to this place. So from the 1990s to 2010s, critics pointed out that it focused too much on performance, not health habits. It shamed unfit kids rather than encourage everyone. The standards were based on elite performance, not growth. In 2012, the program was quietly retired, replaced by a presidential youth fitness program, which emphasizes individual progress over competition. Now, this is where we went. This is where we went completely wrong. This is where we went all wrong. As a nation, as a people, as an individual, you must always compete. You must always compete. Not in everything. Right? You don't need to be the best son, the best boyfriend, the best husband, the best student, the best worker, the best security guard, the best sales associate. You ain't got to be the best at everything. But you do have to pick something. You have to pick something in which you're like, all right, you know what? I'm going to be a dog at this. I'm going to be the best mom I can possibly be. And you're probably going to overshoot it. Right? You're probably going to overdo it. We've seen all the bodybuilders in high school and in college. They definitely overshot it. And now they look a little chub, and then you're like, holy shit, you look fat. And it's like, oh, okay, well, they used to be chiseled out of stone. Then they had a couple pizzas, had a couple beers, and, obviously they overshot it. Now they don't know how to course correct. But at the end of the day, you got to be a dog. You got to compete. And I think that's what makes, first of all, I'm not going to get carried away with the patriotism, but that is what makes the peoples great in America. Is you just got to go hard at something. You got to choose something. People love the leisure lifestyles in other countries, and I understand, right? It is nice to go to a country and not feel like you're drowning underwater and constantly just working your ass off to survive, to have a cheese pizza for $25 at night. But it also breeds a lot of shit. It breeds a better body. It breeds a more like a mind that can deal with adversity. I think is the biggest thing that you need to have growing up. That is the biggest thing I try to push between anyone I've ever met. In which if I can make fun of you and you can take it, then anything that and I'm coming from a place of care. I only make fun of my friends and family. People that I'm close to, I make fun of. Small jokes. If I initially meet someone, I think, okay, let me see if they can take this. And then I double down. And then I'll make fun of their haircut. Then I'll make fun of their size. You know what I'm saying? Like for the boys, you got to continue shaming your boys. Ladies, it's the same for y'all. Now, we shouldn't jump the gap now. We should not jump the gap. You got to shame your friends. Because if you don't, who will? The best thing my parents used to tell my sister and I when we went home was, hey, man, you got to go to the gym. You're getting a little too big. Right? It wasn't, oh, just keep eating up, beta. Just keep eating the roti and shak. Don't worry. Just keep eating. You're fine. You're beautiful to me. Don't lie to your kids. Don't lie to your friends like that. What this generation continues to need is a level of shame. People got to be told when they're going a little too far on the cheese pizza diet. And I think that's where things have kind of lost their course, in which we've lost this level of trust and transparency with people. And going back to what I was saying with friends is like, if you can take these comments from me, then anyone else out there that doesn't actually give a fuck about you, when they make fun of you, you're going to be straight. Because if they think of something that I didn't think of, then I'm gonna, you got to tip their hat. You got to tip your hat. It's a good joke at the end of the day. You got to take stuff on the chin and keep it moving. Not everyone should be patting you on the back saying, hey, you know what? I think you're fit enough. You know what I'm saying? We all had that group in high school. I don't need to say the nationality. They'd walk the track. Everyone else had to run. They'd walk the track. Their mile would be like 30 minutes. And then they'd have to do it again the next day. And they didn't really care, right? They would jog here and there. But at the same time, I kind of applaud them, because why the hell were we running track with khakis on? Right? We had school uniform. Why was the PE teacher taking us out of class with no change of clothes? And then we had to go do math right after sweating our asses off. You got to take a level of diversity. And so when I saw this, presidential fitness test come back, I thought, okay, great. Like the level of shame gets brought back. You got to shame these kids early, because then they grow up to high school and college and adulthood, and they've already formed this brain. Right? The older you get, the more ignorant, I guess more stubborn you get. Maybe not ignorant, because I do think you start opening up to some things, but you become a little bit more stubborn in who you are and how you are. A lot of habits and things like that, they definitely get formed in the earlier years. And so you got to beat these kids into shape early. I truly believe that. And now we have this whole generation that's just been out there wilding. You know what I'm saying? They just run into stores, take whatever they want, then they just dip. And that's where I'm like, what the hell has happened, bro? Who is raising these kids? And obviously myself, as someone that is going to become a parent soon, it's something that's in the back of my mind. It's always in the back of my mind, where it's just like, how do I plan on raising my kids? Do I kind of want to copy my parents because I kind of like how it turned out? Is there certain things I want to change? Well, shit. But then that leads to this. Okay, well, what about this? Am I going to be able to be this quote unquote perfect parent, leading with love and care and shaming a little bit? I don't know. Does every parent go into the situation the same, and then they end up, oh shit, you know what? I guess I'm just going to have to wing it at this point. And just at the end of the day, just try to let this kid know, all right, you know what? I do care about you. I do love you. But your shirts don't fit you anymore. I don't think you should be wearing an extra large at the age of 13. I don't think those Cheeto stains on the front of your shirt look good. I can see the buttons on your pants popping off. You gotta tell your kids this shit. And so the only thing that I don't like about this presidential fitness thing is that it makes me think, oh shit, war is coming. Ah shit, if it isn't him, then the next Republican or Democratic president that comes down the line in 10 years' time, we're going to have a war on our hands. Now, that's just conspiracy me going a little too deep into it. Anyways, moral of the story. Shame your kids. Make sure they know that you love them. But we got to get back on track. Into my next piece. I wanted to talk a little bit about AI. We're not going to go into like any super nerdy shit. But I wanted to just keep it high level. And start mainly with, this shit is here. AI is 100% here and it is the future. When I first started working professionally in 2017, the two terms that were thrown around the most was ML and AI, machine learning and artificial intelligence. Now, machine learning being, okay, this certain program or code can detect a pattern that constantly occurs. If on every fifth shipment, it knows that the numbers mess up, then it knows, okay, hey, I know I need to flag every fifth shipment. And then you as the analyst, let's say you get a notification and you know, okay, I need to go look at this. I need to let the person know on the factory line that they need to look at every fifth shipment. And this program is going to tell me every single time. It can have a set of rules to detect when an error occurs. Now, AI was the level that never really got poked at during those early years, 2017-ish. AI is the idea of take me out of the picture. Now this thing can detect in which an error occurs and then take the necessary steps to fix it. And not only fix it for that occurrence, but fix it for future occurrences. Right? The idea that the intelligence is now beyond just what the person is programming. Now, people are programming this stuff, right? People are building these AIs. And a lot of times, yes, there are studies in which people are seeing some type of AI making decisions for themselves. And I think I saw some articles about AI having feelings, but we're not going to get into that because then you get into the whole iRobot, Will Smith thing. But anyways, I wanted to start a whole series on the channel, on the YouTube channel, of course, AI with AJ. Because I've realized that in my job as a data analyst, right? I've been doing this for 7-8 years now. And the job has remained the same. You kind of pull out some insights, you put it in a dashboard, you present it to people, and you just tell a story. You just tell a story. I think I've been able to succeed at this job decently because I can convey a message to stakeholders. If you are an introvert data analyst, it's tough. You got to be a little bit more back-endy then, right? You got to be more on the data engineer side, maybe just the software engineer side. So you're building the infrastructure in which the data analyst will then go and just blab about for the next 2 weeks and just say, hey, there's a problem, but not actually do anything about it. When I thought about this recently, I've been seeing more and more AI material come out, right? In which what is capable with some of these technologies. I am someone that uses it every day. Every day I use AI. Now, a little bit too much, right? Sometimes I find myself stuck in a decision, right? Oh, how should I approach this? How should I pull this data? How should I visualize it? How should I tell this story? And before I used to spend some time kind of workshopping, okay, I'll do this. All right, what about this? All right, you know what? No, let's go back. Let's erase that and let's redo it like this. Now I kind of just go straight to good old chatbot. I go straight up to the chatbot that's been kind of already integrated into the work ecosystem, and I ask it instead. And I oftentimes just go with that. Anytime I have to write some SQL query that, let's say I say, okay, you know what? I want to pull the number of times that an individual places one order and then places another order within 90 days. I used to have to think about, okay, how do I write this SQL query? Do I want to go to Google and look up some ways to do this? Do I know already how to do this? I feel like my audio is coming in super loud, but sorry if it is. I'll try to adjust it in post. But now I can go to the chatbot. Now I can go to the chatbot and just instantly put in, this is what I want in code, right? I want it in SQL, maybe Postgres, maybe a different. And it shoots it out. At this point, I can actually do Python, right? All this shit that I say that's on my resume, I can actually do it now because I just have a chatbot that'll do it. It's not the best for dissecting code, but actually it is, right? If you run into some type of error of something that someone built previous to you, you can just put it into chat. What I'm saying is AI can do everything I do day to day. And so what I've been trying to figure out is in this wave of AI, I just want to put the message out there that if you are not currently indulging in this shit somehow, right? Now, look, if you have a job that if you have a job that requires actual tactical skill, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you're a police officer out there. Maybe you're a doctor. Maybe you do something with your hands. Or you're a welder. You're a electrician, a plumber, woodwork, whatever it may be. Right? I understand. This piece isn't for you. But I'm talking to all my brown brothers and sisters, and honestly, people in general. Anyone that went to a fucking university, you're probably working a tech job right now. There's a small percentage that probably pursued a business, bought up some car wash, and now you're a millionaire. I'm not talking to you. You got it figured out, right? You've already figured out having a business in America, writing shit off is the greatest thing you can do. That or property. Anyways, if you are not indulging in AI somehow, in some way you're not asking in your day-to-day, how can this AI tool make my job easier? You're behind, bro. You are truly behind. If you are right now pursuing some type of degree and you think, oh man, this statistics course is great, I'm going to make a ton of money, you are a moron, bro. And if you're scared of AI, taking over, you got to get over it. You got to get over it, because either you get on the train or you do get ran over. This is a wave just like anything else, right? You can see it from country to country. Everyone's doing this shit. Everyone is doing this shit. It's like the space race. Every country's trying to just one up each other. Okay, let's throw more money at this. Let's throw some more money at this. We'll have this company do it. This company do it. This company do it. We'll sign something into effect that pushes all these people to do this. Because whoever gets to that moon first, they win. Whoever can develop Jarvis, and then you have your modern day Iron Man or Ultron, you win. Let me just give a little quick check to see if this thing's still recording. All right, we're good. So in your day-to-day, I urge you, download ChatGPT, download Gemini, download Grok, whatever it is, and use it. I want to tell y'all a story. There is a basketball player by the name of Stephen Curry. You may know him as Steph Curry. You may know him as Steph. You may know him as Chef Curry. This guy is the greatest basketball shooter in the world. He is the greatest shooter, not in the world, ever, of all time. No one has been able to do this shit he's done. And early on, I was a critic, and he sure did prove me wrong. It is insane what this guy has been able to do shooting that damn basketball. And not even that. I go a step further. I may put him at the best point guard of all time. As the best point guard of all time. It may not be a traditional point guard, someone that passes the ball and is, the best orchestrator. His orchestrating skills is not top tier. But the threat that he poses as a shooter and as someone that is constantly running around without the ball, I would put him at my all-time. Damn, his defense is also, rough now and then. And he was a little turnover happy in the early years. But you know what? I'll go out on a limb. Greatest shooter, greatest point guard ever. This guy is probably netting about $50 million a year in his most recent contract. Playing basketball, right? He makes $50 million. Everyone off of him makes great money as well. This guy is a billion-dollar entity. Mark Zuckerberg is right now recruiting analysts, AI scientists from all these other ChatGPT, Gemini platforms, and is giving them multi-million-dollar signing bonuses, $100 million signing bonuses. I want to make this clear. You can be the best basketball point guard shooter ever and still be making less than some of these AI scientists right now, because that is the time that we're in. This shit is clearly paying. There's a very, very famous quote. Follow the money, bro. Follow the money. I'm not saying money makes you happy, but it sure won't make you unhappy. If you've just now starting off your career and you just got an analyst job or something, good, great for you. Get in the game, make some friends, understand what it is to be in corporate America, get bullied a little bit, get told off a little bit, and then start figuring out your AI track. But if you're my age, this is now, bro. This is now. If you're thinking about going to get any further education, you should do it. But you should also think about, how the hell am I going to use AI in my day-to-day? This, I just want to reiterate. This guy is paying all of these Asians $100 million just to come work for him. $100 million, bro. $100 million. A couple years ago, these fools weren't even legal here. Half these dudes probably still aren't legal here. They're on visas and whatnot. $100 million. $100 million. If I got a signing bonus for $10K, I'd fucking go out and do some bottles or something. Do some drugs. I don't know. I might run down the street naked. $100 million? Boy. Now then, we calm it down a little bit. We calm it down. We bring it back to earth. Oh, sorry. I should give some advice, right? If you're looking, I kind of said it earlier, but if you're looking, okay, well, don't just fucking keep telling me to get an AI. How do I actually do it? Literally, go download ChatGPT and just start asking it questions, right? If during your workday you think of a question at work, how should I approach this? Put it into ChatGPT. It may not be correct. Then you tell it, hey, you know what? You actually weren't correct in this, and then you do it like this. Okay, boom, it learns. And now you'll just compound that. And then every single time you have to make some type of decision or pull something, this thing will work faster than you and smarter than you. Is my job going to be gone in 5 years' time? I hope so. Because I will hopefully have evolved into whatever this new AI data analyst is. I will be whoever is training these new models to do X routines in a workday. Oh, you need to pull data? Oh, you need to know that question? Well, good thing I've already built this bot and I can just send it to you. I can make you a super user. Oh, yeah, and now you can be, see, this is where you really make money. If you just start developing these AI models for these small companies and start selling it to them for $5,000 a pop, you will make $1 million in a year, bro. You'll be good. You'll be making a healthy living. So just start somewhere. Just start somewhere. Now then, we get to our final chapter. Let this helicopter fly by real quick. I'm going to keep this relatively shorter because I don't want to go on and blabbing about my time in LA. But the time has come that our time in mainstream LA, this chapter is closing. Now, originally why we came out here is Ish and I were in a quote unquote long distance, right? It was a short distance relationship. She was in Austin, I was in Dallas, and we thought, hey, you know what? Let's try to go somewhere else. Let's try to do LA together or New York together. We ended up in LA, and another piece of doing LA was predominantly me. I've always wanted to be in show business. I wanted to be a comedian. I wanted to be acting. I wanted to be on stage. I wanted attention. I wanted flowers. I wanted all the praise in the world. Now this tracks. If you know me, I haven't wavered from this vision ever, really. So we came to LA as a good kind of just like, all right, here we go, right? It was right towards the end of COVID, 2022. We signed one place, then we signed another place. We move into this box in the sky. And then it begins, right? Okay, how do I approach these things? Okay, how do I get an acting gig? Okay, how do I need to start with doing some extra work on this movie set. Okay, now I'm starting to see how all these people move. I'm starting to meet a couple people. Okay, this is how you get this. Okay, this is the platform I use to audition for this role. Okay, all right. You start kind of slowly learning these things. And time went on. I did like a very, very low amount of comedy sets. And time kind of just kept going. And here I am sitting here 3 years later, signing off from this chapter. And so the grade I wanted to give myself before I go into some self-reflection is probably a B minus. Probably a B minus. Because as much as I feel like I underachieved here, I did enjoy it. Ish and I were pretty active when we first moved out here. You know, we would go on a hike. We would go to this restaurant, hang out with these people. Okay, do this. Oh, you know, like we had a decent little day to day. Don't worry. Don't get me wrong. It took some ironing out, right? Well, we were both working from home and I didn't really know how to be, right? I didn't know how to be around someone 24 fucking 7. And I don't think you ever should be. I think distance 100% makes the heart grow fond, and you need that distance. And we were both working remote, and you know, after we slowly figured that out, you know, okay, I'll go do this extra gig and then I'll come back. Now you're happy to see each other. The relationship starts going in a positive direction. So on the upside, I do put my flowers on the fact that I did live a good life here. I enjoyed it. I loved when friends came. We had our wedding here. We obviously proposed here. We brought in the news that we were having a child here. All of these positive things. And so for those things, I have no regret. And I'm really glad, like every single time we would land at LAX and you get over the sheer fact that this airport's a piece of shit, you do think about, damn, this is nice. This is the best weather in the world. Being able to go see the beach at a moment's notice is a luxury, right? This is a luxury. Don't get me wrong. The money is fucking bleeding out of my pockets. My savings isn't where it's at. But after, I would say, that first year and some change, once I got laid off and then Isha got laid off, things got real quiet, right? I stopped even pursuing any type of comedy. I stopped pursuing any type of extra acting gig. I'm going a little all over the place, so let me focus in a little bit. Once we got laid off, things really calmed down. And then it went straight into wedding planning. Then we got married. Then honeymoon. Then we found out. We were pregnant. Then it becomes, okay, now what do we do? Okay, now we need to start packing up to move out. So we really exercised, I would say, a year and a half here. And the unfortunate piece about that year and a half is we were going to weddings every other fucking weekend. So I don't think we fully took advantage of our time here. I don't think we, said no to things that we probably should have said no to. I don't think we tried certain things that we probably should have tried. Had a couple experiences in which we could have easily had while in Southern California. But we did a decent amount. Right? At the end of the day, I'm saying you can't be that critical of yourself. We had a good time here. We spent enough money. We enjoyed the lifestyle. We saw the beach a couple times. We had friends visit us. All positives. Now let's get to the negative side, which I think we're all focused on. We should be thinking about. I just couldn't figure it out. I really just could not figure out how to do it. And then just how to break into this space. Now, the thing I tip my hat off to is this podcast, right? I finally started the podcast after having all this creative energy around me and seeing, okay, people do this, but they also do X, Y, and Z. And so that's how they kind of keep their thing rotating. And with the podcast, I thought, okay, you know what? I'll be able to have this and then meet other people, put them on this platform, And then maybe they do the same for me. And then you have this kind of relationship, right? You start building relationships slowly. And I do think that is the method that you should approach. But I just didn't have the bone in my body to just lean in and have some some awkward encounters and meet people. The 2 comedy sets I did, I was so proud of myself. You know what I'm saying? And when I was going to some of these extra gigs, you quickly figure out, like, man, this shit ain't for me. Being an extra on a movie set, like, it may sound kind of nice, but boy, it was just like, well, I'm close to useless here. You know what I'm saying? If I did not exist, nothing would change on this set. I auditioned for some things. It was really weird, kind of doing some self-tapes. I wish I had gotten an agent and just went down that route. But like I said, I just couldn't put my thumb on it. Whether it was a matter of self-discipline, a knowledge gap, getting lazy with work, video games, friends. That is the piece that, I would say starts bumping the grade down. Starts bumping the grade down quite hard. And then I look at kind of like the accumulation of 3 years here and how many friends I've made and let's say the network I've built. It's non-existent. It's non-existent. I think I just spent that time in my relationship. And so that's where I keep going to the back and forth of like, all right, you know what? I didn't fulfill this, but I do leave here very fulfilled. And the dream ain't dead. The dream is never dead. Because I've told y'all this before, is as every year has gone on and I start fearing mortality more and more, I also start getting more and more delusional, but confident with the vision. I don't think I'm someone that wants the top level of fame. Okay, I'm lying. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding. I'm lying. I'm not done. I want to keep the podcast going. I want to continue doing comedy sets. And I think what the biggest facade is that you have to come to LA to make all that happen. In Houston. That's right, Houston. I think it's all capable and more. I have some first degree friends there. I have a network there, a community there, a feeling of home there that I think I will really thrive in. So all that to say, from LA with love, I leave here fulfilled. I never made it to a Diddy party. And I appreciate y'all for tuning into this podcast for as many weeks as you may have. For any comments that you may have given. Maybe you were a guest on the show. Maybe you're going to be a future guest on the show. I appreciate you nonetheless. This has been my one creative endeavor in which I, can look at and say, all right, well, you know what? I did this. The like count, the watch count, the subscriber count isn't the greatest. But at least I can say I've tried to do this every week. And I appreciate you guys for being a part of that. I'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. If you didn't like it, just watch it again. Don't forget to share it with a friend. Have a lovely week. Don't forget to bully your kids. And goodbye.